A struggling waitress saved a kidnapped boy with nothing but a bottle and raw courage. The child wouldn't stop holding her hand, even when his father arrived. What she didn't realize, the father was a mafia boss who protects what his son loves. And his son had just chosen her. Mia Chen's feet ached like they were on fire. 11 hours. That's how long she'd been on her feet at Romano's diner, serving overcooked burgers to truckers who tipped in quarters. She'd smiled through it all because that's what single moms did. They smiled. They pushed through. They survived. Now, at 11:47 p.m., she was finally heading home through the back alleys of South Brooklyn, her purse clutched tight against her ribs. The streetlights here flickered like dying heartbeats, casting shadows that moved when they shouldn't. She should have taken the main road. She knew that. But the main road added 15 minutes, and her daughter Emma was home alone. 7 years old and too brave for her own good, pretending she wasn't scared of the dark. Mia picked up her pace, her worn sneakers slapping against wet concrete. That's when she heard it.
No.
Let me go. Daddy. The scream cut through the night like broken glass. Mia froze, her heart slamming against her chest. Every instinct screamed at her to run the other way. Mind your business. Get home to Emma.
Don't be stupid.
But that voice, it was a child. She rounded the corner and saw them. 3 men in dark clothes, faces covered with ski masks, dragging a boy toward a black van. The kid couldn't have been older than 9, his designer sneakers scraping against the ground as he kicked and twisted. One man had him in a chokehold. Another was pulling open the van's sliding door.
Please.
My dad will give you anything. Please. The man tightened his grip. Shut up, kid. Mia's hand moved before her brain caught up. She grabbed an empty beer bottle from the ground near a dumpster, and before she could talk herself out of it, she was running. Hey! Her voice came out stronger than she felt. Get away from him. All 3 men turned. For a split second, nobody moved. Then one of them left. Lady, walk away. This ain't your problem. I said let him go. She threw the bottle. It shattered against the van with a crash that echoed through the alley. The men flinched, and in that moment of distraction, the boy bit down hard on his captor's arm. Son of a... The man released him, and the boy ran. Straight to Mia. He crashed into her, small arms wrapping around her waist, his whole body shaking. Don't let them take me. Please, please don't let them. I've got you, Mia whispered, even though she had no idea how she was going to back up that promise. The 3 men advanced. The one in front cracked his knuckles. You just made a big mistake, waitress. How did he know she was a waitress? Mia's blood went cold. She backed up, keeping the boy behind her, scanning desperately for anything she could use as a weapon. Her phone was in her purse, but there was no time to call 911. No time for anything. The man reached for her. And then the entire alley flooded with light. 2 black SUVs screeched to a halt, blocking both ends of the alley. Doors flew open. Men in suits poured out, and these weren't ordinary men. They moved like soldiers, faces hard, hands reaching inside their jackets. But it was the man who stepped out of the lead vehicle that made everything stop. He was tall, maybe 6'3", with dark hair swept back and a jaw that looked carved from stone. His suit probably cost more than Mia made in 3 months. But it wasn't the suit that made her breath catch, it was his eyes.
Cold.
Calculating.
Deadly.
He looked at the boy clinging to Mia, and something cracked in that icy expression. Luca, his voice was rough, barely controlled. Luca, are you hurt? Papa. The boy, Luca, started to run toward him, but then stopped, turning back to grab Mia's hand. She saved me, Papa. They were gonna. I know. The man's gaze shifted to the 3 kidnappers, who were now backing toward the van. His voice dropped to something that didn't sound quite human. Leave the van. Start running. If you make it out of Brooklyn by sunrise, maybe you'll see tomorrow. They ran. The man walked toward Mia and his son, and up close, he was even more terrifying. There was something about him that screamed danger, power, control. He knelt down, pulling Luca into his arms, and for just a moment, Mia saw the mask slip. He held his son like he was the only thing in the world that mattered. "I'm sorry, Papa.
I'm sorry.
I got out of the car to get my ball, and they just—"
Sure.
"Not your fault," he stood, lifting Luca with one arm, then turned those cold eyes on Mia. "You." She took an involuntary step back. He needed help. "What's your name?"
Mia.
Mia-chan. Mia-chan, he said it slowly, like he was memorizing it, like he was deciding something. "You have any idea who these men were? Who sent them?"
No.
"I was just walking home from work." From Romano's diner, it wasn't a question. Her stomach dropped. "How did you—" The name tag, he nodded at her chest. She'd forgotten to take it off. "You live nearby." Why was he asking? Mia's hands started shaking. "Look, I'm glad your son is okay. I should really go." "Papa, don't let her leave." Luca buried his face in his father's shoulder, but reached out a hand toward Mia. "She's nice. She's safe." The man's jaw tightened. He studied Mia for a long moment, and she felt like he was seeing straight through her. Through her exhaustion, her fear, her worn-out uniform and thrift store coat. Finally, he spoke to one of his men without taking his eyes off her. "Marco. Get her address. Full background. Everything." "Wait," Mia's heart hammered. "I didn't do anything wrong." "No," his voice softened just a fraction. "You did something very right. But people who cross paths with my son don't just walk away." "Not anymore," he shifted Luca higher on his hip. "My name is Adrian Russo. And whether you know it or not, Mia-chan, you just became part of something you can't unsee." He turned toward his SUV, then paused. "Someone will contact you tomorrow. Don't run. Don't talk to police. Don't do anything stupid." "But I need to get home to my daughter."
He stopped.
Slowly turned back. "You have a daughter?" Mia nodded, hating how her voice shook. "She's 7. She's home alone. I need to." Adrian's expression shifted, just slightly. He nodded once to another one of his men. "Take her home. Make sure she gets inside safely. Watch the building tonight." "That's not necessary." "It's not a request." He opened the SUV door, then looked at her one more time. "You saved my son's life tonight, Miss Chen. That means something in my world. But it also means you're in danger. They saw your face. And they'll be back." The SUV door closed. The vehicles pulled away, leaving Mia standing in the alley with one of Adrian's men, her mind racing. What had she just done? And who the hell was Adrian Russo? The man Adrian had assigned to Mia, a stone-faced guard named Tony, didn't say a word during the ride home. He just walked 3 steps behind her until she reached her apartment building, then positioned himself by the entrance like a statue. Mia's hands shook as she unlocked her door. "Mom." Emma came running, her small body crashing into Mia's legs. "You're late. I was worried." "I know, baby." "I'm sorry." Mia held her daughter tight, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. Safe. They were both safe.
For now.
She tucked Emma back into bed, kissed her forehead, and checked every lock on every window twice. Through the blinds, she could see Tony's silhouette by the streetlight, watching. Mia didn't sleep that night. The knock came at 9 a.m. sharp. Mia had already gotten Emma off to school, her mind racing with plans to maybe grab her daughter and run. Leave the city. Change their names. But where would they go? They had exactly $347 in the bank and half a tank of gas in a car that barely started. She opened the door. 2 men in expensive suits stood in the hallway. Not Tony from last night. These were different. Harder. "Miss Chen. Mr. Russo requests your presence." "I have work." "Not anymore." The taller one, bald, with a scar across his eyebrow, handed her a phone. "Call Romano's. You've been given 2 weeks paid leave." Mr. Russo's generosity.
Mia's stomach twisted.
"I don't want his generosity. I want to be left alone." "That's not how this works." He stepped aside, gesturing to the stairs. "The car's waiting." She had no choice. She knew that. These weren't men you argued with. The drive took 40 minutes, leaving Brooklyn behind for the manicured lawns and iron gates of a neighborhood Mia had only seen in movies. The mansion, because there was no other word for it, sat behind 12-foot walls, with security cameras tracking their approach. Inside, everything screamed money. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, oil paintings that probably cost more than Mia would earn in her lifetime. A woman in a crisp black dress led her through hallways until they reached a study. Dark wood, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a massive desk where Adrian Russo sat, reading something on his laptop. He didn't look up.
Seat.
Mia remained standing. What do you want from me? Now he looked up, one eyebrow raised.
Brave.
Or stupid. Haven't decided which yet. He closed the laptop, leaning back in his leather chair. Tell me exactly what you saw last night. Every detail. I already told you. Tell me again. So she did.
The alley.
The men. The van. He listened without interrupting, his fingers steepled under his chin, those cold eyes never leaving her face. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. You're not lying, he said it like a fact, not an opinion. But that makes you either incredibly unlucky or incredibly convenient. I don't understand. Someone tried to kidnap my son. Hours after I had a meeting with the Benettis. The same night you, a random waitress, happened to walk by and play hero. His voice was soft, dangerous. You see why I have questions. Mia's blood went ice cold. You think I was part of it. I think coincidences don't exist in my world. Then your world is paranoid. She snapped before she could stop herself. I work 11-hour shifts 6 days a week to keep my daughter fed. I've got $347 in the bank and a car that makes dying noises. You really think someone like me is clever enough to set up whatever you're talking about? Something flickered in Adrian's expression. Not quite softening, but reconsidering. Before he could respond, the door burst open. Papa. Luca ran in, still in his pajamas, face lighting up when he saw Mia. You brought her back. Luca, I told you to stay upstairs. But the boy was already across the room, grabbing Mia's hand. Did they hurt you? Papa said they might come after you too, because you helped me. Mia knelt down to his level, her anger at Adrian momentarily forgotten.
I'm okay, sweetie.
Are you? I had nightmares, his voice dropped to a whisper. But then I remembered you hit that man with the bottle, and I felt braver. Adrian stood, moving around his desk.
Luca.
She's nice, Papa.
Like
Mama used to be, the boy's eyes welled up. Before she left, the room went completely still. Adrian's jaw clenched, so tight Mia heard it. He placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Go find Marcus. He's supposed to be watching you, but... Now, Luca. The boy's lower lip trembled, but he obeyed, casting one last look at Mia before leaving. Adrian poured himself a drink from a crystal decanter. Whiskey, amber and expensive. He downed it in one swallow. My wife left 3 years ago, he said, his back to Mia. Couldn't handle this life. Couldn't handle what I am. He turned, and there was something raw in his eyes now. Luca hasn't trusted anyone since. Barely talks to the nannies. Barely talks to me half the time. I'm sorry. But he trusts you. Adrian moved closer, and Mia fought the urge to step back. In one night, you became the first person in 3 years he's reached out to. That means something. Mr. Russo. It also makes you valuable. And in my world, valuable things are either protected or eliminated. He studied her face. I need to decide which you are. A door opened behind them, and an older man entered, silver-haired, cold-eyed, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Mia's rent. He glanced at Mia, then at Adrian. Boss, we need to talk. Privately. Adrian nodded slowly, never taking his eyes off Mia. Marco will take you to the sitting room. Don't leave the house. I need to pick up my daughter from school. Already handled. She'll be brought here. With security. You can't just... I can. And I did. His voice softened just a fraction. You're not a prisoner, Miss Chen. But you're not safe out there either. Not anymore. He walked out with a silver-haired man, leaving Mia alone in a study that cost more than everything she'd ever owned. She'd saved a child's life. Why did it feel like she'd just signed away her own? The sitting room was bigger than Mia's entire apartment. She sat on a velvet couch that probably cost a month of her salary, watching through the window as black SUVs patrolled the grounds. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number with a photo of Emma leaving school, hand in hand with a kind-looking woman in professional clothes. Your daughter is safe. Will arrive in 20 minutes. Marco. Mia wanted to throw the phone across the room. Instead, she clutched it tight, fighting tears. This was insane. 24 hours ago, her biggest worry was making rent. Now armed men were escorting her 7-year-old like some kind of witness protection program. The door opened. A young woman in a black uniform entered with a tray, coffee, pastries that looked like they belonged in a magazine. Mr. Russo thought you might be hungry. Mia's stomach growled, betraying her. She hadn't eaten since yesterday's stolen fries at the diner. Thank you. The woman left without another word, and Mia devoured a croissant that melted on her tongue like butter and dreams. She was reaching for a second when voices echoed from the hallway, raised, angry. Too convenient, Adrian. A waitress just happens to walk by? Happens to play hero? This has Salvatore written all over it. That was the silver-haired man. The one who'd interrupted earlier. Keep your voice down, Vincent. Adrian's tone was ice-cold. Luca's upstairs. Your son is exactly why we need to be smart about this. That woman could be a plant.
A spy.
Hell, she could be wearing a wire right now. Mia's hand froze halfway to the coffee cup. I had her swept. She's clean. Today she's clean. But who's to say Salvatore didn't recruit her weeks ago? Think about it. She works at Romano's, right on the edge of Bonetti territory. Perfect position to gather intel. She's a waitress, Vincent. Not CIA. That's exactly what makes her perfect. Vincent's voice grew sharper. Nobody suspects the struggling single mom. Nobody questions why she's asking questions, making conversation. She's invisible. There was a long pause. When Adrian spoke again, his voice was quieter, more dangerous. What do you suggest? Let me handle it. One conversation in the basement, and we'll know everything. Mia's blood turned to ice. The basement. She'd seen enough movies to know what that meant. No, Adrian's voice was firm. Not yet. Then what? We keep her here, feed her pastries, and hope she doesn't slit Luca's throat in his sleep. I said no, Vincent. The authority in Adrian's voice was absolute. Luca trusts her. That's not something I've seen in 3 years. Your son is 9 years old. He doesn't understand deception. He understands fear. He understands danger. He's lived with both since his mother abandoned him. Adrian's voice cracked, just slightly. And last night, in that alley, he ran to her. Not away from her. To her. Boss. I'm not saying I trust her. I'm saying we watch her. Closely. We investigate every corner of her life. If she's working for Salvatore, we'll know a pause. And then you can have your conversation. Footsteps approached. Mia barely had time to grab her coffee cup and pretend she'd heard nothing before the door opened. Vincent entered first, the silver-haired man, late 50s, with eyes that looked through you rather than at you. His expression when he saw Mia was pure contempt. Miss Chen, he didn't offer his hand.
I'm Vincent Calabrese.
Mr. Russo's consigliere. His what? Advisor. Strategist. The man who keeps him alive. Vincent circled her slowly, like a shark. Tell me, Miss Chen. How long have you worked at Romano's diner? 2 years. And, before that, a dry cleaner in Queens. Before that, a grocery store in... Yes. Minimum wage jobs, struggling to survive, single mother working herself to death. Vincent waved dismissively. Very sympathetic. Very convenient. Adrian entered, positioning himself by the fireplace. Watching. I don't understand what you're Do you know who Salvatore Benetti is? Vincent interrupted. Mia shook her head. What about the Russo family? Ever heard that name before last night?
No.
You expect us to believe you just stumbled into that alley? Pure chance. I was walking home from work. Mia stood, her fear converting to anger. I take that route every night because it saves 15 minutes, and 15 minutes matters when your kid is home alone. I heard a child screaming, and I helped. That's it. That's it, Vincent repeated mockingly. He pulled out his phone, swiping through photos. Then explain this. He thrust the screen toward her. It showed Mia at the diner, serving coffee to a man in a dark suit. Timestamp. 3 days ago. So? I serve hundreds of people. That man works for Salvatore Benetti. Mia's stomach dropped. I didn't know that. I don't know who half the people I serve are. Convenient, Vincent swiped again. Another photo. And this man? 2 weeks ago. Another stranger in a suit. Another person Mia didn't remember. And this one? Last month. I don't know them. Mia's voice rose. I pour coffee, I take orders, I smile, and collect tips. I don't run background checks on customers. Or maybe. Vincent stepped closer, his voice deadly soft. You're exactly what Salvatore needed. A nobody. Someone unremarkable enough to get close, to gather information, to earn trust. That's enough. Adrian's command cut through the room. Vincent turned. Boss, you need to see the pattern. I see a waitress who serves in a neighborhood where both families operate. That's not evidence. That's geography. Adrian moved toward Mia, studying her face. But it is. Interesting. The door burst open. Luca ran in, still in pajamas, with a frazzled-looking bodyguard chasing after him. I'm sorry, boss, he's fast. But Luca wasn't listening. He ran straight to Mia, grabbing her hand. His eyes were red, like he'd been crying. Don't let Papa send you away.
Please.
Vincent wants to hurt you. I heard him, but you didn't do anything wrong. You saved me. His small hand tightened around hers. She saved me, Papa. She's good. I know she is. Adrian's expression shifted. He knelt down eye level with his son.
Luca.
You always say trust your instincts. My instincts say she's safe. Tears spilled down Luca's cheeks. Please, Papa. Don't let Vincent take her to the basement. Vincent's jaw clenched. Adrian looked at his son, then at Mia, then at Vincent. Everyone out, Adrian said quietly. Except Miss Chen. Vincent started to protest. One look from Adrian silenced him. When the room emptied, even Luca, reluctantly, Adrian poured himself another drink. My son doesn't trust easily, Miss Chen. The last person he trusted like that was his mother. He downed the whiskey. She betrayed that trust. Used it to steal money and disappear. I'm not her. Maybe not, Adrian turned to face her. But you're hiding something. I can see it. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to stay here, under watch, while I verify every single detail of your life. If you're innocent, truly innocent, then you and your daughter will be protected. And if I'm not... His eyes went cold. Then Vincent gets his conversation. And trust me, Miss Chen, he's very good at getting answers. Emma arrived 20 minutes later, escorted by 2 guards and the professional-looking woman from the photo. Mia's daughter ran into her arms, confused but unharmed. Mom, why are we at a castle? Emma's eyes were wide, taking in the chandelier, the marble staircase. Are you friends with the prince? Something like that. Baby Mia held her tight, breathing in her daughter's familiar scent. It's just for a little while. Adrian appeared in the doorway, his presence commanding the room. But when he looked at Emma, something in his expression gentled. You must be Emma. He crouched down to her level, the same way he did with Luca. I'm Adrian. Your mom helped my son last night, and I wanted to say thank you. Emma studied him with the brutal honesty only 7-year-olds possessed. You're really tall. And kind of scary. A ghost of a smile crossed Adrian's face. I get that a lot. But your house is pretty, Emma turned to Mia. Can we stay here? It's way better than our apartment. Before Mia could answer, Luca appeared on the staircase, peeking through the railings. Emma spotted him immediately.
I'm Emma.
Luca hesitated, then slowly descended the stairs.
I'm Luca.
This is my house. It's a really cool house. Want to show me? And just like that, with the easy friendship only children could manage, Emma grabbed Luca's hand and the two disappeared up the stairs, chattering about video games and favorite colors. Adrian watched them go, something unreadable in his expression.
She's
very friendly. She doesn't know how to be anything else. Mia's voice was tight. How long are you planning to keep us here? As long as it takes. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. Before Mia could respond, Vincent burst into the room, his face grim. Boss. We got him. Adrian's entire demeanor shifted, shoulders back, jaw set, eyes turning to ice. Where? Warehouse on 5th. Tony's crew found him trying to leave the city. Vincent's gaze flicked to Mia, then back to Adrian. He's talking. You need to hear this. Stay with the children. Adrian ordered one of his men, then looked at Mia. You're coming with me.
What? No.
Not a request. He was already moving toward the door. You want answers? Come find them. The warehouse smelled like rust and fear. Mia stayed close to Adrian as they entered, her heart hammering. Inside, a man sat tied to a chair under a single hanging bulb, one of the kidnappers from last night. His face was swollen, bloody, but his eyes still held defiance. Until he saw Adrian. Then the defiance cracked into pure terror. Mr. Russo, I swear, I didn't know it was your kid. Shut up. Adrian's voice was conversational, which somehow made it more terrifying. He circled the man slowly. You have one chance to tell me everything. Who hired you? Who planned it? Who gave the order? The man's eyes darted to Mia. She wasn't supposed to be there. That wasn't part of the plan. Answer my question.
Salvatore.
It was Salvatore Benetti. He paid us 50 grand to grab the kid, hold him for ransom. Said you'd pay millions to get him back. The man was talking fast now, words tumbling over each other. But then she showed up and everything went wrong. Adrian's fist connected with the man's jaw so fast Mia barely saw it. The kidnappers had snapped back, blood spraying. How did Salvatore know where Luca would be? I don't know, I swear. We just got coordinates, timing, everything planned out. Inside information. Vincent spoke from the shadows. Someone in our circle. Adrian's expression darkened. He pulled out his phone, typed something, then showed the screen to the kidnapper. This woman. You've seen her before? Mia couldn't see the photo, but the kidnapper squinted, then nodded.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was at Romano's diner last week. Salvatore pointed her out. Said she worked there. Said she was nobody important. Ice flooded Mia's veins. Adrian turned to her, his face unreadable. He knew who you were. Before last night. I don't understand. Adrian's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and something in his expression changed.
Hardened.
He handed the phone to Vincent, whose face went white. What?
Mia demanded.
What is it? Adrian's voice was deadly calm. A message. From Salvatore. He turned the phone so Mia could see. It was a video message, 10 seconds long. A man in his 60s, silver-haired like Vincent, but with cruel eyes and a smile that made Mia's skin crawl. Salvatore Benetti sat, in what looked like a restaurant, sipping wine. When he spoke, his voice was smooth, almost friendly. Adrian, I hear you have a new friend. A brave little waitress who ruined my plans. He swirled his wine. She's got fire, that one. I like fire. His smile widened. Send her to me by midnight tomorrow, and I'll consider our business concluded. Your boy stays safe. She and I have a conversation. Everyone walks away. He leaned closer to the camera. But if you don't, well, that pretty little daughter of hers goes to a very good school on Miller Street. Third period is recess. So many children running around. So easy for accidents to happen. The video ended. Mia couldn't breathe. Her vision tunneled.
Emma.
He knew about Emma. knew where she went to school, what time she had recess. I'm going to kill him. Adrian's voice was barely human. Slowly. Boss, this is bait, Vincent warned. He wants you emotional. Wants you to make mistakes. He threatened a child. My child's friend. Adrian's control was cracking. He thinks he can. He's making me choose. Mia's voice came out hollow. She looked at Adrian, tears streaming down her face. He wants me, or he hurts Emma. That's what this is. You're not going anywhere near him. You can't protect us forever. You said it yourself. He has inside information. He knew about me before last night. He's been watching. Her voice broke. He'll find a way to get to her. To Emma. Unless I... No. Adrian grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. Listen to me. Salvatore wants you because you're leverage. Because hurting you hurts me in Luca's eyes. It makes me look weak. I don't care about your reputation. It's not about reputation. For the first time, Adrian's mask fully cracked. My son watched his mother walk away, without looking back. He spent 3 years believing everyone leaves. And then you showed up. You stayed when you could have run. You chose him. Mia stared at him, seeing past the Mafia boss to the desperate father underneath. If you walk into Salvatore's trap, Luca doesn't just lose you. He loses his faith that anyone will ever stay. Adrian's grip tightened. I won't let that happen. Vincent stepped forward. Then we go to war. Adrian released Mia, his expression hardening back into the dangerous man who commanded empires. Get everyone. Every soldier, every contact, every favor we're owed. I want Salvatore's location within the hour. And the girl? Adrian looked at Mia. She stays here. With Luca and Emma. 24-hour guard. I should have a say. You gave up that right when you saved my son. Adrian's voice softened just slightly. This is my world, Miss Chen. And in my world, we don't sacrifice pawns. We kill kings. That night, Mia couldn't sleep. Emma and Luca had crashed together in one of the mansion's guest rooms, exhausted from hours of playing. Adrian had disappeared into his office with Vincent and a parade of serious-looking men. Guards patrolled every hallway. Mia sat in her assigned room, bigger than her entire apartment, staring at her phone. She had 17 missed calls, all from the same number.
Ethan.
Her younger brother, 23 years old and still figuring out life, which was a polite way of saying he couldn't hold a job or stay out of trouble. She'd been avoiding his calls for weeks because they always meant the same thing. He needed money. But now, with Salvatore knowing everything about her life, Mia's stomach twisted with a different kind of fear. She called him back.
Jesus, Mia.
Finally, Ethan's voice was strained. Where the hell are you? I went by your apartment. You weren't there. Emma wasn't at school today. How do you know Emma wasn't at school? A pause. Too long. I stopped by to drop off her birthday present early. The teacher said she was absent. Mia's birthday wasn't for 3 weeks. Ethan had never remembered it early in his life. Where are you, Ethan? That's not important. What's important is, Mia, are you in trouble? Because if you are, I can help. I know people. What people? Another pause. Just
People.
Look, can we meet? There's something I need to tell you. Every instinct screamed that this was a bad idea. But he was her brother. The only family she had left besides Emma. I can't leave right now. Then tell me where you are. I'll come to you, Ethan. Please, Mia. It's important, his voice cracked. I'm in trouble. Real trouble. And I think I might have made things worse for you. Mia's blood went cold. What did you do? Not over the phone. Face to face. She looked toward the door. 2 guards stood outside. She'd heard them take their positions an hour ago. But maybe. There's a coffee shop on Berkeley Street. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Come alone. Mia, I don't think. Alone, Ethan. Or I'm not coming. She hung up before he could argue. Getting out the next day was easier than expected. Adrian was in meetings all morning. Vincent had mentioned something about tracking Salvatore's money. The guards were focused on external threats. Nobody expected Mia to sneak out. She told Emma she was going to get her favorite snacks, kissed her daughter's forehead, and slipped out through the kitchen entrance while the cook was in the pantry. The coffee shop was 20 minutes away by cab. Ethan was already there, sitting in the back corner, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His leg bounced nervously. When he saw Mia, relief and guilt warred across his face. "You came."
Talk fast.
"I don't have much time." Mia slid into the booth across from him. Ethan ran his hands through his hair. "I messed up. Bad." "Gambling again?" "How did you?" He stopped, laughing bitterly. "Of course you know. You always know." He pulled out his phone, showed her a number. $47,000. "I owe this to some guys. Serious guys. The kind who break kneecaps first and ask questions later." Mia's heart sank. "Ethan, where the hell did you get that kind of money to gamble?" "I thought I could win it back. I had a system." "Systems don't work. How many times do we have to?" She stopped, forcing herself to breathe. Okay. We'll figure this out. I can pick up extra shifts, maybe get a loan." "Mia, it's already handled." She froze. "What?" "Someone paid it off. The whole thing. Yesterday morning." Ethan wouldn't meet her eyes. He just showed up. Said he'd heard I was Mia Chen's brother. Said family was important. Paid everything just like that. The world tilted.
Who?
"I don't know his name. Older guy, expensive suit, silver hair." "Salvatore." Mia's whisper was barely audible. "He didn't tell me his name. He just said he was a businessman who appreciated family loyalty." Ethan finally looked at her, and there was something desperate in his eyes.
He asked about you.
Just casual questions. Where you worked, how often we talked, if you'd mentioned meeting anyone new. And you told him it wasn't a question." "I didn't know. I thought he was just making conversation. He seemed nice, Mia. He bought me lunch. Treated me like I mattered." Ethan's voice cracked. "Nobody's done that since Dad died. Their father had passed 6 years ago. Heart attack. Left them with nothing but debt and memories." "What else did you tell him?" "Nothing. I swear. Just that you worked hard, that you had Emma, that you were always helping people even when you couldn't afford to help yourself." He reached across the table, grabbing her hand. "But Mia, there's more." "Of course there was. He called me yesterday, after you disappeared. Asked if I knew where you were." Ethan's grip tightened. "I said no, but he didn't believe me. He said you'd gotten yourself mixed up with dangerous people, that you might need protection." "Protection?" Mia wanted to laugh. Or scream. From him. "He offered me money. A lot of money. Said all I had to do was keep him updated on where you were, who you were with, what you were doing." Ethan's eyes pleaded with her. "I said no, Mia. I swear I said no. But he just smiled and said the offer stood whenever I changed my mind." "Ethan, you need to stay away from him." "There's something else." He pulled out an envelope from his jacket, sliding it across the table. "This was slipped under my apartment door this morning." Mia opened it. Inside was a photo, her and Emma leaving the mansion that morning, clear as day. On the back, written in elegant script. "Family is everything. Your sister understands this now. When you're ready to help her, call me. S." Below it was a phone number. "He's watching you," Ethan whispered. "Watching both of us." "Mia, what the hell did you do?" Before she could answer, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Leaving without permission? Reckless. Bring your brother. We need to talk." Mia's stomach dropped. Adrian knew. She looked up at Ethan, seeing him clearly for the first time. Her baby brother. Always in trouble. Always needing rescue. And now he was caught in something that could get them all killed. "Come with me," she said quietly. "Where?" "Somewhere safe. Or, at least safer than here." "Mia, you're scaring me."
Good.
"You should be scared." She stood, grabbing his arm. "Because we're in the middle of a war, and Salvatore just made you a soldier, whether you want to be or not." They left the coffee shop together, not seeing the car parked across the street. Inside, a man lowered his camera and dialed a number. Boss. She met with the brother. They're heading back together now. On the other end, Salvatore Benetti smiled. Perfect. Keep watching. And make sure Adrian knows about their little meeting. Let's see how much he trusts his new pet now. The pieces were moving exactly as planned. The SUV was waiting outside the coffee shop when Mia and Ethan stepped onto the sidewalk. Not Adrian's sleek black vehicles. This one was navy blue, windows tinted so dark they looked like mirrors. The back door opened, and a man in an expensive suit stepped out, not threatening, just present. Miss Jen. Mr. Benetti would like a word. Mia's hand tightened on Ethan's arm. I'm not going anywhere with. It's not a request. The man's smile was polite, but his eyes were cold. Your brother's debt may be paid, but interest accrues. Surely you understand how these things work.
Mia.
Ethan's voice shook. What's he talking about? Two more men emerged from the car. Not pointing guns, not making threats. They didn't have to. The message was clear. Just me, Mia said. My brother goes home. Of course. Mr. Benetti is a reasonable man. The suited man gestured to the open door. After you. Mia looked at Ethan, memorizing his face in case this was the last time. Go back to your apartment. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me.
Mia.
Go. He went, casting frightened glances back as he hurried down the street. Mia climbed into the SUV, her heart hammering against her ribs. The drive took 15 minutes, ending at an Italian restaurant in a neighborhood Mia didn't recognize. Expensive cars lined the street. Even in daylight, the place radiated power. Inside, it was empty except for one table. Salvatore Benetti sat like a king holding court, a glass of red wine in hand, a plate of untouched pasta before him. Up close, he was more distinguished than threatening, like a college professor or a successful lawyer. That somehow made him more terrifying. Miss Chen. Finally, he gestured to the chair across from him. Please sit. You must be hungry. I'm not.
Sit-in.
Humor an old man. The guards positioned themselves by the exits. Mia sat, her spine rigid. Salvatore studied her with eyes that saw too much. You're not what I expected. When my men described the woman who ruined a $50,000 operation with a beer bottle, I pictured someone. Harder. More jaded. He sipped his wine. But you're just a mother. A survivor. Someone trying to protect what's hers. What do you want?
Direct.
I appreciate that. He pushed the plate toward her. Carbonara. Best in the city.
Please.
It's getting cold. I don't want your food.
No.
You want your freedom. Your daughter's safety. Your brother's debts to stay paid. He leaned back, swirling his wine. You want Adrian Russo's protection without the cost of being owned by him. Am I close? Too close. Mia said nothing. You saved a son. A noble act. Genuinely heroic. Salvatore's voice was warm, almost fatherly. But nobility doesn't pay rent, Miss Chen. Heroism doesn't put food on the table or keep debt collectors away. You know this better than most. If you're trying to scare me, I'm trying to help you. He set down his wine glass. Adrian is using you. You see that, don't you? He doesn't care about you or your daughter. He cares about his son's emotional stability. The moment you stop being useful, you become a liability. You don't know him. I've known Adrian Russo for 20 years. I watched him rise. Watched him destroy everyone who got in his way. Salvatore's voice softened. I also watched his wife leave. Do you know why she ran? Mia didn't answer. Because she finally understood what Adrian is. Not a man. Not a father. A monster who wears expensive suits and calls his violence protection. He leaned forward. She tried to take Luca with her. Adrian's men found her at the airport. She got on that plane alone, leaving her son behind because Adrian made it clear, stay, and watch your son grow up in hell. Leave, and at least the boy survives. You're lying. Am I? Ask Vincent. Ask any of Adrian's inner circle what happened to the last person who tried to leave with something he valued, Salvatore's eyes glinted. That wife is living in Austria now, under a new name, with a monthly payment to ensure her silence. She hasn't seen her son in 3 years. That's Adrian's version of mercy. Mia's hands trembled in her lap. Why are you telling me this? Because you have something I need. Information. Access. He pulled out a folder, sliding it across the table. Open it. She didn't want to, but her hands moved anyway. Inside were documents. Bank statements showing her negative balance. Emma's school tuition, past due. A notice of eviction dated 2 weeks ago that she'd hidden from her daughter. Medical bills from when Emma had pneumonia last year, still unpaid. Underneath those were different papers. Bank statements with her name, showing balances with zeros that made her dizzy. A deed to a house, small but real, with a yard. A college fund for Emma, already established. What is this? Your future. If you're smart, Salvatore folded his hands. I don't want to hurt you, Miss Chen. I want to help you. All you have to do is tell me what Adrian is planning. His meetings. His movements. Where he keeps Luca. You want me to betray him. I want you to survive. Salvatore's voice turned urgent, almost pleading. Adrian is going to war with me. You know this. And in war, there's collateral damage. People like you and Emma, you'll be the first casualties. Not because you matter to Adrian, but because you don't matter enough. He's protecting us. He's using you as bait. Don't you see? Salvatore's mask cracked slightly. I took Luca to draw Adrian out. But you're his new weakness. The moment I realized that, I knew. He'll sacrifice you to save his son. He'll trade your life for Luca's without hesitation.
Mia s throat tightened.
And you wouldn't. I would give you a choice. Isn't that worth something? He tapped the folder. This life, safety, security, freedom, it's yours. Emma never has to know poverty again. Your brother's debts stay buried. And all you have to do is feed me information. Small things. Nothing that directly harms Luca.
Just.
Business intelligence. That's still betrayal. It's survival. Salvatore's voice dropped. And between you and me, Miss Chen, survival is the only morality that matters. Mia stared at the papers. At the life they represented. Everything she'd wanted for Emma, for herself. Everything that staying in Adrian's world would never give her. I need time to think. Of course, Salvatore smiled, genuinely pleased. But not too much time. Adrian's suspicions grow by the hour. Once Vincent convinces him you're a spy, and he will, your thinking time ends in a basement interrogation room. He stood, buttoning his jacket. My number is in that folder. When you're ready to make the smart choice, call me. Until then, he gestured to his men. They'll take you back. Consider this conversation our secret. For now. Mia was escorted back to the SUV, the folder burning in her hands. As they drove, her phone buzzed. Adrian, where are you? Her fingers hovered over the keys. One text could end this. Tell him about Salvatore's offer. Ask for protection. Trust him. But Salvatore's words echoed. He'll sacrifice you to save his son. Mia deleted the message and typed, on my way back. The folder sat in her lap like a promise. Or a trap. She couldn't tell which. Mia returned to the mansion to find chaos. Guards rushed through hallways. Vincent barked orders into his phone. And in the middle of it all stood Adrian, jaw clenched, eyes blazing as he listened to a report from one of his men. He spotted Mia immediately. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. My office.
Now.
She followed him, the folder from Salvatore hidden in her purse, burning like evidence. Inside his office, Adrian closed the door with controlled violence. Where were you? I told you. I went. Don't lie to me. His voice was deadly quiet. I had men watching the coffee shop. I know about your brother. I know you both left. And I know you didn't come straight back. He moved closer, crowding her space. What I don't know is where you went for 43 minutes. Mia's mind raced. Tell him. Just tell him about Salvatore's offer, about the threats. But then she remembered the folder. The house. The college fund. Emma's future. I needed air. Time to think. Think about what? About whether staying here is worth it. The words burst out before she could stop them. You're keeping me prisoner. My daughter thinks this is some kind of adventure, but it's not. We're trapped. And for what? Because your son likes me? Because I was stupid enough to help. Adrian's expression didn't change. You're lying.
I'm tired.
Mia's voice cracked. I'm tired of men in suits telling me what to do, where to go, who to trust. I'm tired of being scared. I just want my normal life back. Your normal life? Adrian's laugh was bitter. 70-hour work weeks? Eviction notices? That's what you want back.
Mia froze.
How do you know about? I know everything about you, Miss Chin. Your debts. Your struggles. The fact that you've been robbing Peter to pay Paul for 2 years, his voice softened slightly. Is that really what you want? To go back to surviving instead of living? Before she could answer, a small voice came from the doorway. Papa, why are you yelling? They both turned. Luca stood there in his pajamas, holding a sketchbook to his chest, his eyes red-rimmed. Adrian's entire demeanor shifted. Luca, you should be in bed. I can't sleep. Luca's lower lip trembled. The nightmares keep coming back. Mia moved without thinking, kneeling to his level. What kind of nightmares, sweetie? The van. The men. But also, he looked at his father, then back to Mia. Other stuff. Adrian's jaw tightened.
Luca.
Can I show Miss Mia my drawings? Please, Papa. Something passed between father and son. A wordless conversation Mia couldn't interpret. Finally, Adrian nodded once, terse and reluctant. Luca grabbed Mia's hand, pulling her toward the sitting room. Adrian followed, silent as a shadow. The boy settled on the couch, opening his sketchbook with careful hands. The first drawing showed a stick-figure man in a suit, tall, commanding. Next to him, a smaller figure holding his hand. That's me and Papa, Luca whispered. When I was little, before Mama left. The next page showed 3 figures. The woman was drawn in bright colors, yellow dress, red lips, big smile. But there was something wrong with the picture. The woman's hand wasn't holding the boy's. It was reaching toward something off the page. Mama used to smile a lot. But Papa says she smiled even when she was sad. That's confusing. Luca traced the drawing with one finger. How do you know if someone's real smile or a pretend smile? Mia glanced at Adrian, who stood by the fireplace, face carved from stone. Sometimes, Mia said gently, people smile when they're sad because they don't want the people they love to worry. But that's lying. Not exactly.
It's
protecting. Luca flipped the page. This drawing was darker. The stick-figure man stood alone, surrounded by other figures, some with guns, some with angry faces. The small boy figure was off to the side, watching. Papa pretends he's not scared. But I know he is. Luca's voice dropped to barely a whisper. I hear him sometimes at night, walking the halls, checking my room, making sure I'm still there. Adrian's hands clenched into fists. He thinks the bad men will come back. Take me away. Make me disappear like Mama. Luca looked up at Mia with eyes too old for 9 years. Do you think they will? No, Mia's voice was fierce. Because your papa won't let them. And neither will I. Promise. The word hung in the air. A promise in this world meant something. It was a chain, a commitment that couldn't be broken without consequence. I promise. Luca's smile was small but genuine. He flipped to the next page, this one drawn recently, the lines still fresh. It showed 4 figures now. The tall man, the boy, and 2 new people. A woman with kind eyes and a little girl holding her hand. That's you and Emma. I added you yesterday. Luca touched the drawing. You're not scared of Papa. Everyone else is scared of him. Even Vincent. But you yell at him and tell him when he's being mean. Luca, Adrian's voice was strained. It's okay, Papa. I like that she's not scared. Luca looked at his father, then back to Mia. Mama was always scared. Of everything. Of the men with guns. Of the phone calls. Of you, Papa. The room went silent. She told me once, right before she left. She said, "Your father is a good man trapped in a monster's life." I didn't understand then. Luca's fingers tightened on his sketchbook. But I think I do now. You do monster things to keep me safe. Right, Papa? Adrian's control finally cracked. He crossed the room, sinking onto the couch beside his son, pulling him into a fierce embrace. Everything I do, his voice was raw, is to keep you safe. Even the monster things. I know, Luca hugged him back. That's why I'm not scared of you. I'm scared for you. Mia watched them, her heart breaking and healing simultaneously. This wasn't a mafia boss and his heir. This was a father terrified of failing his son. A boy trying to understand a world too violent for childhood. When Adrian looked up, his eyes met Mia's, and for the first time, she saw past the ice, past the control, to the man underneath who was just as scared as she was. He trusts you, Adrian said quietly. In 3 years, you're the first person he's shown these drawings to. The first person he's talked to about his mother. Why me? Because you don't want anything from him. You're not here for power or money or connections. You just, Adrian's voice caught. You just stayed. When you could have run, you stayed. Luca had fallen asleep against his father's chest, sketchbook sliding from his fingers. Adrian shifted carefully, lifting his son without waking him. I'll put him to bed. He paused at the doorway, looking back at Mia. About earlier. Your brother. I had him brought here. He's in the guest wing, under protection. You brought Ethan here? He's family. And Salvatore knows it. Adrian's expression hardened. That makes him a target.
Like you.
Like Emma. He left with Luca, leaving Mia alone with the sketchbook. She opened it to the last page. One more drawing she hadn't seen. This one showed all 4 figures, Adrian, Luca, Mia, and Emma, standing together. Above them, written in a child's careful handwriting, "My new family. Please don't leave like Mama did." Mia's hands shook as she pulled out her phone. Salvatore's number stared back at her from the folder in her purse. One call. That's all it would take. Betray Adrian, take Salvatore's offer, secure Emma's future. But she just promised a 9-year-old boy she wouldn't leave. And unlike Luca's mother, Mia kept her promises. She deleted Salvatore's number. Whatever happened next, she was staying. The next morning, Mia woke to raised voices down the hall. She'd been given a room next to Emma's, with guards posted outside both doors. Her daughter was still sleeping, curled up with a stuffed bear one of Adrian's men had awkwardly gifted her. Mia slipped out, following the sounds of argument. Absolutely ridiculous, Adrian. She's a nobody. The voice was female, sharp with fury. Mia paused outside the partially open door to Adrian's office. Careful, Isabella. Adrian's voice was cold warning. Mia peered through the crack. A woman stood before Adrian's desk, tall, model-thin, wearing a dress that probably cost more than Mia's car. Her dark hair fell in perfect waves, her makeup flawless even at 7 a.m. Everything about her screamed money and privilege. Careful? You want me to be careful while you parade some waitress around your home? Isabella's perfectly manicured hand slammed on the desk. Do you have any idea how this looks? Your men are talking. Your associates are questioning your judgment. Let them talk. I won't be humiliated like this. Isabella's voice rose. We've had an arrangement for 2 years, Adrian. 2 years of discretion, of understanding your world. An arrangement. That's all it was. Adrian didn't even look up from the papers he was reading. You were company when I needed it. Don't mistake that for something more. The words were brutal. Isabella flinched like she'd been slapped. Is that all I am to you? Company. What did you think you were? Isabella's composure cracked. I thought after Maria left, I thought maybe we could be something real. That Luca could have a mother figure. Luca has a mother figure. Adrian's voice was flat. And it's not you. The silence that followed was deadly. The waitress, Isabella's laugh was bitter. You're replacing me with a broke single mother who smells like grease and desperation. Now Adrian looked up, and his expression made Isabella step back. One more word about Miss Chen, and you'll find yourself very unwelcome in this house. She's your weakness. Isabella's desperation showed through her anger. Salvatore is going to use her to destroy you, and you're too blind to see it because a child likes her. Get out. Adrian.
Out.
Isabella left, her heels clicking sharply against marble. She passed Mia in the hallway, stopping when she noticed her. Enjoy it while it lasts. Isabella's smile was venom. Women like you don't survive in his world. You're a charity case he'll discard the moment you stop being useful. She leaned closer. And, trust me, that moment is coming. She swept past, leaving Mia standing there, heart pounding. You can come in, Miss Chen, Adrian's voice carried from the office. I know you were listening. Mia entered reluctantly. Adrian poured himself coffee, not looking at her. Isabella is dramatic. Ignore her. Was she your girlfriend? She was convenient. Nothing more. He finally met her eyes. In my world, relationships are transactions. She knew that. That's sad. That's survival. He took a sip of coffee. Sentiment is a luxury I can't afford. Before Mia could respond, Vincent entered without knocking, followed by 3 other men Mia recognized as part of Adrian's inner circle. Their expressions when they saw her were cold, assessing. Boss, we need to discuss the situation. Vincent's emphasis on the last word made it clear. Mia was the situation. She can stay. That's not wise. It's my decision. Vincent's jaw clenched, but he continued.
Fine.
Then she should hear this too. He pulled out his phone, showing Adrian a series of photos. These were taken yesterday. Miss Chen, getting into a navy blue SUV outside the coffee shop. The same SUV that's registered to a shell company Salvatore uses. Mia's blood turned cold. Adrian's expression didn't change, but the temperature in the room dropped. Explain. I can explain, Mia started. Not you. Him. Adrian's eyes stayed locked on Vincent. She met with Salvatore. 43 minutes. Then returned here like nothing happened. Vincent's voice was sharp with accusation. This is exactly what I warned you about. She's playing both sides. One of the other men spoke up, a younger guy with a scar across his cheek. My cousin works at that restaurant. He says Salvatore had papers. Documents. Looked like he was making an offer. What kind of offer? Adrian's voice was dangerously quiet. The scarred man looked at Mia. The kind that buys loyalty. All eyes turned to her. Mia felt like she was suffocating. He forced me into that car. Funny, Vincent interrupted. The men watching said you got in willingly.
No struggle.
No resistance. Because he threatened my brother. He threatened Emma. Mia's voice rose. What was I supposed to do? Fight off 3 armed men. You were supposed to tell me. Adrian's words cut like a knife. Immediately. Instead, you hid it. Lied about where you'd been. I didn't lie. You withheld the truth. Same thing. He stood, moving around the desk. What did he offer you? Mia's silence was damning. Boss, let me interrogate her properly. Vincent's hand moved to his jacket. 20 minutes, and we'll know everything. No, Adrian's command was absolute, but his eyes never left Mia's face. Answer the question, Miss Chen. What did Salvatore offer you? The folder in her purse felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds.
Money.
A house. Security. In exchange for? Information. About you. Your movements. Where Luca is. The room exploded with angry voices. I knew it. She's a spy. Boss, we need to eliminate this threat. Quiet. Adrian's roar silenced them all. He stepped closer to Mia, his voice dropping to something intimate and terrifying. And what did you tell him? This was it. The moment that decided everything. Mia met his eyes, refusing to look away. Nothing. I told him nothing. And I deleted his number. You expect us to believe that? Vincent scoffed. Why would you turn down that kind of money? Look at you. You're drowning in debt, barely surviving. Salvatore offered you everything you needed. He offered me blood money, Mia's voice steadied. Money earned by betraying a 9-year-old boy who's already been abandoned by everyone he trusted. She looked at Adrian. I made Luca a promise. I don't break promises to children. Pretty words, the scarred man muttered. But can we trust them? I vote we can't, another man added. She's a liability, boss. Cut her loose before she cuts us. Vincent stepped forward. Adrian, you're thinking with your heart instead of your head. This woman has compromised our security. She's had contact with Salvatore. She's hiding things. If Maria taught you anything, it should be, don't. Adrian's voice was lethal. Don't you dare compare them. I'm trying to protect you. You're trying to make decisions that aren't yours to make. Adrian turned to his men, and Mia saw the Mafia boss fully emerge. Miss Chen stays. Under watch, yes. Under suspicion, perhaps. But under my protection. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave. Permanently. No one moved. Vincent put 3 more men on her detail. I want to know everywhere she goes. Everyone she talks to. Adrian's gaze returned to Mia. And, Miss Chen? No more secrets. No more withholding information. The next time Salvatore or anyone else contacts you, I'm the first to know. Understood? Mia nodded, not trusting her voice. Good. Now get out. All of you. They filed out, Vincent casting one last warning glare at Mia. In the hallway, she heard him mutter to another man. She'll destroy him. Just wait and see. Just like Salvatore wants. Mia leaned against the wall, hands shaking. She'd survived.
For now.
But Isabella's words echoed in her mind. Women like you don't survive in his world. Maybe she was right. 3 days passed in tense routine. Mia stayed close to Emma and Luca, who'd become inseparable. Adrian's men shadowed her everywhere, even to the bathroom, standing outside like armed sentries. Vincent watched her with open suspicion. Isabella had stopped by twice more, each visit ending in shouting matches with Adrian behind closed doors. On the 4th day, Mia's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Miss Chen. This is Harold Brewster, your landlord. Mia's stomach dropped. She'd almost forgotten about her apartment, her old life. Mr. Brewster, I'm sorry about this month's rent, but this month's rent is the least of your concerns. His voice was clipped, professional. Too professional. I'm calling to inform you of a rent increase. Effective immediately. You can't do that. We have a lease, which includes a clause allowing adjustments in cases of property damage or increased risk to other tenants. He cleared his throat. It's come to my attention that you've been involved with unsavory elements, police activity in the neighborhood, suspicious individuals watching the building. This creates liability. Mia's blood went cold. How much? Double your current rate. $2,400 per month, due in full by the end of the week. Cash only. That's insane. I can't afford. Then you have until Friday to vacate. I'm well within my legal rights, Miss Chen. Check your lease. The line went dead. Mia stood there, phone trembling in her hand. $2,400. She didn't have $240. And she knew exactly who was behind this.
Salvatore.
He was squeezing her, forcing her hand. She found Adrian in his office, reviewing security footage with Vincent. Both men looked up when she entered. I need to leave. Adrian's expression didn't change. Excuse me? This was a mistake. All of it, the words tumbled out. My landlord just demanded double rent because of suspicious activity around my building. That's Salvatore, isn't it? He's targeting my home, my job, everything. And it's because I'm here. So you want to run? Vincent's voice dripped contempt. Predictable. I want to protect my daughter. Mia's voice rose. Every day I stay here, I put Emma in more danger. Salvatore isn't going to stop. He'll keep pushing until... Until what? Adrian stood, moving around his desk. Until you crawl to him? Take his offer? Feed him everything he wants to know.
No.
I'll leave the city. Change our names. Start over somewhere he can't find us. There is nowhere he can't find you. Adrian's voice was hard. The moment you walk out that door, you become a loose end. Someone who knows too much, seen too much. You think Salvatore lets loose ends live. I'll take that chance. Emma won't. The words stopped Mia cold. Adrian moved closer, and she saw something dangerous in his eyes. You want to know what happens to people who run from Salvatore? Last year, a man named Dominic testified against him. Witness protection, new identity, the whole package. Salvatore found him in 6 weeks. Dominic's wife and daughter died in a house fire. He got the message, surrendered himself. They found his body in the harbor. Mia felt sick. You're trying to scare me. I'm trying to save your life. Adrian's voice softened slightly. You think I don't understand wanting to protect your child? Luca is everything to me. I've built an empire on blood and fear to keep him safe. And I'm telling you, running is suicide. Then what am I supposed to do? Stay here forever? Let Salvatore destroy everything I've built. What you've built is already gone, Miss Chin. Your apartment, your job, your old life. It was over the moment you stepped into that alley. Adrian's gaze was unflinching. The only question now is whether you fight back or surrender. Fight back? I'm a waitress. I don't know how to fight men like Salvatore.
No.
But I do. Adrian moved even closer, and Mia found herself backed against his desk. Leave, and you won't last a day. Stay, and no one touches you. Your choice. That's not a choice. That's a threat. It's a promise, his voice dropped. I protect what's mine. And whether you like it or not, Salvatore has made you mine by targeting you. Mia's breath caught. I'm not a possession.
No.
You're a responsibility. One I don't take lightly. He stepped back, giving her space. Your landlord wants $2,400?
Done.
Consider it paid. Your debts?
Cleared.
Emma's school?
Covered.
Everything Salvatore threatened to take away, I'll provide it. In exchange for what? Your loyalty. Your honesty. Your presence in my son's life. Adrian's expression softened when he mentioned Luca. He's sleeping through the night for the first time in 3 years. He's drawing again. Smiling. That's because of you. Adrian. I'm not a good man, Mia. I won't pretend to be. But I keep my promises. And I'm promising you. Stay, and nothing touches your daughter. Nothing touches you. Not Salvatore. Not his men. Not anyone. Before Mia could respond, Ethan burst into the office, wild-eyed and panicked. 2 guards grabbed him, but he was shouting.
Mia.
They called me. They said if you don't come by midnight. Adrian's entire demeanor changed. Who called you? I don't know. A man. He said he had a message for Mia. Ethan thrust his phone toward her with shaking hands. Mia took it, seeing a text message with a photo attached. Her heart stopped. The photo showed the outside of Emma's school. Children playing at recess. Emma visible in the center, laughing with friends, completely unaware of the camera watching her. Below the photo. Time's running out, Miss Chin. Your brother made a poor choice once. Don't make the same mistake. Midnight tomorrow.
Come alone.
Or we start with the little girl.
S.
The phone slipped from Mia's fingers, clattering to the floor. What? Adrian demanded. What is it? But Mia couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Salvatore wasn't just threatening anymore. He was counting down. Vincent picked up the phone, read the message, and cursed. Boss, this is an ultimatum. He's forcing your hand. Adrian's expression turned to stone. He looked at Mia, at her terror-frozen face, and something in his eyes shifted. Get Emma.
Now.
Bring her here immediately. Triple the guards on the school until she's secured. His voice was command incarnate. And get Marco. Tell him to start tracking that phone number. Already on it, Vincent said, pulling out his own phone. Adrian grabbed Mia's shoulders, forcing her to look at him. Breathe. Emma is safe. I have men at that school right now. She won't be alone for a second. He's going to take her.
No.
He's not. Adrian's voice was absolute certainty. Because I'm going to end this. Tonight.
How?
By giving Salvatore exactly what he wants. A cold smile crossed Adrian's face. A meeting. Face to face. Winner takes all. Mia's eyes widened. That's suicide. No. Adrian released her, moving to his desk to pull out a gun from a drawer. That's war. And I always win my wars. Vincent shook his head. Boss, this is what he wants. He's baiting you. Let him bait me. Set up the meet. Neutral ground. Tomorrow night. Adrian checked his gun with practiced ease. And Vincent, bring everyone. If Salvatore wants a fight, we'll give him one he'll never forget. Mia watched as the mansion transformed from home to fortress. Men appeared from everywhere, armed, serious, moving with military precision. She tried to leave to protect Emma. Instead, she'd started a war. Emma arrived safely within the hour, confused but excited to be pulled from school early. Adrian's men had swept every corner of the building, checked every exit, created a convoy like she was the president. Mia held her daughter tight, breathing in her strawberry shampoo, trying to stop shaking. Mom, you're squishing me, Emma complained, but she hugged back anyway. Luca appeared, taking Emma's hand. Come on. Papa's men brought new games. Racing ones. The children ran off, and Mia watched them go, her heart in her throat. How had her life become this? Gun-carrying guards protecting her daughter. A mansion that felt more like a fortress every hour. A war brewing over her head. She's safe here, Adrian said quietly beside her. Safer than she's ever been. Until she's not, Mia turned to him. This meeting with Salvatore, it's a trap. You know it is. Of course it's a trap, Adrian's smile was cold. But so is mine. Vincent approached, phone in hand.
Boss.
Problem. What now? It's the brother. Ethan. He's gone. Mia's stomach dropped. What do you mean gone? He asked to use the bathroom 20 minutes ago. Guard posted outside. When he didn't come out, they checked. Window was open. He climbed down the trellis. Why would he run? Mia's voice rose. He was safe here. Vincent's expression was grim. Security footage shows him receiving a call right before. He looked panicked. Then he was gone. Adrian cursed, pulling out his phone. Get every camera in a 5-block radius. Track him.
Now.
But Mia knew. Deep in her gut, she knew. Salvatore has him. We don't know that. Yes, we do, she felt sick. Ethan is weak. He's always been weak. One threat, one offer of money, and he crumbles. Salvatore knows that. He probably called and told Ethan exactly what to do. Vincent's phone buzzed. He answered, listened, his face going pale.
Boss.
You need to see this. He pulled up a live video feed on his tablet. Mia's blood turned to ice. The video showed Ethan tied to a chair in what looked like a warehouse. His face was bruised, bleeding from his lip. Behind him stood 2 men with guns. And in front of the camera, leaning against a table like this was a casual business meeting, was Salvatore Bonetti.
Adrian. Mia.
I hope you're watching. Salvatore's voice was pleasant, conversational. I apologize for the dramatics, but you've left me no choice. Time's running out, and I need to ensure you take my offer seriously. He walked over to Ethan, placing a hand on his shoulder. Ethan flinched. Young Ethan here made a mistake. He thought he could take my money, ignore my calls, and hide behind his sister's new protectors. Salvatore's grip tightened and Ethan winced. But debts must be paid. One way or another. Please, Ethan's voice cracked. I didn't know, I'm sorry. Salvatore silenced him with a look. He turned back to the camera. Here's my final offer, and it's non-negotiable. Tomorrow.
Noon.
Pier 17.
Mia brings Meluca Russo.
Alone. No guards. No weapons. No tricks. His voice hardened. Do this and Ethan lives. Your daughter remains safe. You get your normal life back, with a very generous financial package, of course. He circled the chair slowly, like a predator. Refuse and Ethan dies.
Slowly.
Then I move to Plan B, which involves Emma's school, a fire alarm, and the confusion that happens when children panic. His smile was venomous. I really hope you choose option A. I'm not a monster, Miss Chen. I'm just a businessman who needs leverage. One of Salvatore's men handed him a gun. He checked it casually, then pressed the barrel against Ethan's temple. Ethan whimpered. 24 hours. Tick-tock, Salvatore pulled the trigger. The gun clicked. Empty chamber. Ethan sobbed with relief. Next time, it's loaded, Salvatore stepped back. I'll be waiting, Miss Chen. Don't disappoint me. The video cut out. The office was silent except for the sound of Mia's ragged breathing. That son of a... Vincent started. Quiet, Adrian was thinking, his mind clearly racing through scenarios. It's a power play. He knows we won't give him Luca. This is about proving he can get to us. Break us. He wants me to betray you, Mia whispered. He wants me to bring Luca to him, which you won't do. Adrian's voice was firm. But Ethan is leverage. Nothing more. Vincent's voice was cold. Boss, the brother is a liability. Always has been. If we let Salvatore dictate terms. He's my brother. Mia's voice cracked. He's stupid and weak and makes terrible choices, but he's still my brother. I can't just let him die. You can and you will. Vincent stepped closer. Because the alternative is handing over a 9-year-old boy to a man who'll use him to destroy everything. That's not a choice. That's suicide. Mia looked at Adrian, desperate. There has to be another way. A rescue. Something. He'll be expecting that. Adrian's jaw was clenched. The moment we try to hit that location, Ethan's dead. Salvatore isn't bluffing. Then what am I supposed to do? Tears streamed down Mia's face. Choose between my brother and Luca? That's not fair. Fair doesn't exist in this world. Adrian's voice softened slightly. But I can tell you this. If you hand Luca over, Salvatore wins everything. He'll have leverage over me forever. He'll kill your brother anyway because loose ends. And Emma becomes his next target the moment you're no longer useful. How do you know? Because that's what I would do. Adrian's honesty was brutal. Salvatore isn't offering you freedom, Mia. He's offering you a slower death. Mia sank into a chair, head in her hands. I can't do this. I can't make this choice. From the doorway, a small voice spoke. You don't have to. They all turned. Luca stood there, still in his play clothes, face solemn and far too mature. Luca, go back upstairs, Adrian started. No. Papa, Luca walked into the office, his hands balled into fists. I heard everything. The bad man wants me to save Miss Mia's brother. That's not happening. Adrian moved toward his son. But it should. Luca's voice was steady despite his trembling hands.
Miss Mia saved me.
Now, it's my turn to save her family. Absolutely not. Adrian's voice was thunder. You're 9 years old. And I'm scared all the time anyway. Luca's composure cracked. I'm scared you'll die. I'm scared the bad men will come back. I'm scared everyone I love will leave. Tears rolled down his cheeks. But Miss Mia didn't leave. She stayed even when it was dangerous. So I should stay too. For her. Mia knelt down, grabbing Luca's shoulders.
Es with you. No.
You're not responsible for this. But my brother is. The words were bitter in her mouth. This is Ethan's fault.
His debts.
His choices. Not yours. Then why do you look so sad? Luca's question was simple, devastating. If it's his fault, why are you crying? Because family was complicated. Because love didn't make sense. Because even when someone made terrible choices, you couldn't always let them die. Mia had no answer. Adrian pulled Luca into his arms, holding him tight. When he spoke, his voice was raw. You're not bait. Not ever. I'd burn the world before I let Salvatore touch you. Then what do we do, Papa? Adrian met Mia's eyes over his son's head. In that gaze was a question. An offer. A decision that would change everything. We go to war, Adrian said quietly. And this time, we don't play by Salvatore's rules. We write our own. Adrian's plan was insane. You're going to use me as bait, Mia said flatly, standing in his office at 3 a.m. while Vincent laid out weapons on the desk. Not bait. Bait implies we're letting you walk into danger alone. Adrian checked the clip on a handgun. You're going to the exchange. But you won't be alone. He said no guards. He'll get no visible guards. Vincent pointed to a map of Pier 17. We'll have 15 men positioned here, here, and here. Snipers on the rooftops. Exit routes covered. The moment you signal, we move. And if he searches me,
Fain Saguair.
you won't be wearing one. Adrian's eyes met hers. This only works if he thinks you've actually betrayed me. That you chose your brother over Luca.
Mia esse stomach churned.
You want me to lie to him. I want you to survive. Adrian moved closer. Salvatore expects you to bring Luca. When you show up alone and tell him you couldn't go through with it, he'll believe you. You're not a trained operative. You're a terrified mother. He'll see exactly what he expects to see. And then what? Then you tell him you need proof Ethan's alive before you give up anything. Stall him. Keep him talking. Adrian's voice was ice-cold strategy now. The moment you touch your ear, that's the signal. My men move in. Salvatore goes down. We get your brother. People are going to die. Yes, Adrian didn't sugarcoat it. Salvatore's people. Maybe some of mine. That's war. This is my fault. No, Adrian grabbed her hand, the gesture surprising them both. This is Salvatore's fault. He's the one who started this. Who threatened children. Who turned your brother into a weapon against you. His grip tightened. You saved my son. Now let me save your brother. Noon came too fast. Pier 17 was abandoned, the old warehouse district long forgotten by the city. Mia arrived in a black sedan, driven by one of Adrian's men who didn't speak. He let her out 2 blocks away. Walk straight. Don't look around. Act scared. She didn't have to act. The pier stretched before her, weathered wood creaking under her feet. In the distance she saw figures. Salvatore's men, weapons visible, forming a perimeter around a single car. And in front of the car, sitting in the same chair from the video, was Ethan. Mia's breath caught. He looked worse in person, bruised, exhausted, terrified, but alive. Salvatore stepped out of the shadows like he'd been waiting for a cue. He wore an expensive suit, completely out of place in the industrial decay. Miss Chun. Right on time, he smiled. Though I notice you're missing a certain 9-year-old boy. Mia stopped 15 feet away. I couldn't do it. Excuse me? I couldn't betray him.
Luca.
He trusts me, and I... Her voice cracked authentically. I tried. I got him to the car. But when he looked at me with those eyes, asking if we were going on an adventure, she wiped away real tears. I couldn't. Salvatore's expression hardened. I gave you very clear instructions. I know.
I know I did.
But he's a child. An innocent child. And I'm not. I'm not a monster. She took a step forward. But I came anyway. To negotiate. To find another way. There is no other way. Salvatore's voice turned cold. You failed. Which means... Wait. Mia's shout echoed across the pier. You want leverage over Adrian? Information?
I can give you that.
I've been living in his house. I know his routines, his security, where he keeps Luca, everything.
Salvatore paused, intrigued.
Go on. But first, I need proof Ethan's alive. Actually alive, not just sitting there. Let me see him. Talk to him. You can see him from there. I need to know he's not hurt. That he can walk. Mia's voice was desperate.
Please.
Then I'll tell you everything. Bank accounts, safe houses, meeting locations. Everything Adrian thinks is secret. Salvatore considered this. Finally, he nodded to one of his men. Bring him over. They dragged Ethan forward. He stumbled, weak but mobile.
Mia? God, Mia, I'm sorry.
It's okay, she hugged him, feeling his trembling. It's going to be okay. She touched her ear. Everything happened at once. Gunfire erupted from 3 directions. Salvatore's men scattered, returning fire. Mia grabbed Ethan, pulling him down as bullets tore through the air above them. Move. Someone shouted, Vincent, appearing from behind a shipping container, laying down covering fire. Salvatore dove behind his car, pulling a gun from his jacket. His eyes found Mia, and pure rage crossed his face. You tricked me. Adrian's SUVs crashed through the pier entrance, doors flying open. Armed men poured out, and suddenly the abandoned pier was a war zone. Mia dragged Ethan toward cover, but Salvatore was faster. He grabbed Ethan by the collar, yanking him backward, pressing a gun to his temple. Stop. Salvatore's voice cut through the chaos. Everyone stop or the brother dies. The gunfire ceased. An eerie silence fell, broken only by the sound of waves against the pier. Adrian stepped out from behind his vehicle, gun raised. Let him go, Salvatore. This is between us. Everything is between us. Salvatore's control was cracking. You took everything from me. My territory, my reputation, my power. And now you have her. He jerked his head toward Mia. Playing happy family while I lose everything. You lost because you're weak. Adrian's voice was death itself. You threaten children. Hide behind hostages. That's not power. That's desperation. Shut up. Salvatore pressed the gun harder against Ethan's temple. Ethan whimpered. I want safe passage.
A car.
Or I swear. A small figure darted from one of the SUVs.
Luca, no.
Adrian's roar came too late. Luca ran toward Mia, ignoring the guns, the men, the danger.
Miss Mia.
I'm here.
I'm okay.
Everything slowed down. Salvatore's eyes widened, seeing his real prize within reach. His gun swung away from Ethan toward Luca. Mia didn't think. She ran, throwing herself between the gun and the boy. The shot rang out. Pain exploded in Mia's shoulder, spinning her around. She crashed into Luca, covering him with her body as they hit the ground. Adrian's gun fired 3 times.
Clean.
Precise. Professional. Salvatore stumbled backward, red blooming across his chest. His gun clattered to the pier. He looked down at the blood, then at Adrian, surprise in his dying eyes. You were always going to lose, Adrian said quietly, because you forgot the one rule that matters. You don't threaten what's mine.
Salvatore collapsed.
The remaining men scattered or surrendered. Vincent's team moved in, securing the area. It was over in seconds. Adrian ran to Mia, dropping to his knees beside her.
Mia.
Mia, look at me. She was still covering Luca, blood seeping through her jacket. The boy was crying, trying to see if she was okay. I'm fine, Mia gasped. Is Luca?
I'm okay.
You saved me again. Luca's small hands pressed against her wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Papa, help her. Please. Adrian carefully rolled Mia onto her back, examining the wound. Clean through. You'll live, but his hands shook as he applied pressure. You stupid, brave, impossible woman. You could have died. So could he, Mia whispered, looking at Luca. Not on my watch. Ethan crawled over, his face covered in tears.
Mia, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry for all of this. Later, Adrian's command was sharp. Vincent. Medic.
Now.
Men rushed over with first aid. In the distance, sirens wailed. Mia's vision started to blur, but she felt Luca's hand gripping hers, refusing to let go. Felt Adrian's steady presence, his voice commanding everyone, taking control. Before darkness took her, she heard Luca whisper, You kept your promise. You didn't leave. Never, she managed. Never leaving. Then the world went black. Mia woke to the smell of antiseptic and expensive cologne. Her shoulder throbbed, wrapped tight in bandages. The room around her was familiar, one of the guest bedrooms in Adrian's mansion. Afternoon light filtered through silk curtains. And in the chair beside her bed, arms crossed, eyes closed but clearly not sleeping, sat Adrian. You're a terrible guard, Mia croaked. Anyone could have walked in. His eyes snapped open. Relief flooded his face before the mask slipped back into place. You've been out for 18 hours. The doctor said the bullet went clean through. No permanent damage. Lucky me. She tried to sit up and winced. Don't, Adrian stood, gently pressing her back down. You took a bullet for my son. The least you can do is rest. Where is he?
Luca.
Asleep in the next room. Refused to leave until I promised he could see the moment you woke up. Something soft crossed Adrian's expression. He's been drawing you. Pictures of you as a superhero. Flying. Saving people. Despite the pain, Mia smiled. I can't even save myself most days. You saved what mattered. Adrian sat on the edge of her bed, careful not to jostle her. Ethan's downstairs. Under guard. We need to talk about him. Mia's smile faded. Is he okay? Physically?
Yes.
Everything else? Adrian's voice hardened. That's complicated. As if summoned, the door opened. Ethan stood there, flanked by two of Adrian's men. He looked smaller somehow, diminished. When he saw Mia awake, tears streamed down his face.
Mia.
God, I thought when you got shot, I thought. I'm fine, she tried to sound reassuring, but her voice was tired. Come here. Ethan rushed forward, dropping to his knees beside the bed. I'm sorry. For all of it. The gambling, the debts, talking to Salvatore. I never meant for any of this to happen. I just thought, his voice cracked. I thought I could fix it myself. You thought you could take the easy way out. Adrian's voice cut through the moment like a blade. You took Salvatore's money. Gave him information about your sister. Put not just her, but her daughter at risk. I know. I'm not finished, Adrian stood, looming over Ethan. You got a woman shot. Nearly got a child killed. All because you couldn't face your own mistakes. He moved closer, and Ethan shrank back. Your sister just took a bullet meant for my son. She bled on that pier protecting what I love most. Do you understand what that means? Ethan nodded, terrified. It means she's family now. Mine to protect. Mine to provide for. Mine. Adrian's voice dropped to something lethal. And you're the liability that nearly destroyed her. Give me one reason I shouldn't end you right here. Adrian, Mia started. No, his eyes never left Ethan. He needs to understand. In my world, betrayal has consequences. Your sister paid your debt in blood. But you. He leaned down, getting in Ethan's face. You ever sell your sister again, to anyone for any reason, and no debt will save you. No relationship. No mercy. I will erase you. Understand? Yes, Ethan's voice was barely a whisper. Yes, I understand. Good, Adrian straightened. You have two choices. Leave the city. Change your name. Start over somewhere I never have to see your face again. Or, he paused. You stay. Work for me. Legitimate business. You earn your keep, pay back every cent Salvatore gave you through honest labor, and you prove you're worth the sister who almost died for you. Ethan looked at Mia, desperate. What do you want me to do? Mia studied her brother, weak, flawed, but still family. I want you to grow up. To be the man Dad thought you could be. Her voice was firm despite her exhaustion. Stay or go, I don't care. But if you stay, you do exactly what Adrian says. No more shortcuts. No more gambling. No more stupid choices. I'll stay. Ethan grabbed her hand. I'll prove it. I swear. Adrian nodded to his men. Get him set up in the staff quarters. Find him work in the warehouse. He answers to Marco. Any problems, I hear about them immediately. As they led Ethan away, Mia exhaled. Thank you. For not killing him. Don't thank me. Thank the fact that you took a bullet. Adrian sat back down, and his mask cracked slightly. When I saw you go down, when I saw that blood, he stopped, jaw clenching. I've seen hundreds of people die. It never affected me. But watching you fall. I'm okay. You're reckless, but there was no heat in it. You chose us over blood. Threw yourself in front of a bullet for a child who isn't even yours. He feels like mine. The admission came easier than Mia expected. Both of them. Luca and Emma. They've become, she searched for the word. Everything. I know the feeling. Adrian's hand covered hers carefully. You asked me once what I wanted from you. Here's the truth. I want you to stay. Not as an obligation. Not as protection. But as family. Adrian. You chose us over blood, he repeated, and this time his voice was different. Vulnerable. Now you're ours. Luca's. Emma's. Mine, he met her eyes. If you'll have us. It wasn't a proposal. It was a claiming. A declaration. In his world, this was the closest thing to love. Fierce, possessive, absolute protection. Mia thought about her old life. The apartment she'd lost. The job that barely paid bills. The constant fear and exhaustion. Then she thought about Luca's drawings. Emma's laughter echoing through marble halls. The strange, broken family they'd become. Okay, she whispered. I'm yours. The door burst open. Luca ran in, Emma right behind him, both children's faces lighting up. You're awake. Luca scrambled onto the bed, careful of her shoulder. Papa said you were a hero, that you saved me again. We made you cards. Emma held up construction paper covered in glitter and crayon hearts. Mine has a picture of us as a family.
See?
That's you, me, Luca, and Mr. Adrian. Mia looked at the drawing, 4 stick figures holding hands in front of a house. A family. Not the family she'd planned, but the one she'd chosen. Adrian stood, making room for the children. But before he left, he leaned down, his lips brushing her temple in the softest gesture. Welcome home, Mia. And for the first time in years, Mia felt like she was. 3 months later, Ethan worked in Adrian's warehouse, slowly earning back respect. Emma and Luca attended the same private school, inseparable. Vincent still watched Mia with suspicion but had stopped suggesting basement interrogations. And Mia, she'd become something she never expected. Not Adrian's wife. Not exactly his partner. But the woman at his side. The one who challenged him. Protected his son. Brought warmth to a house built on blood and power. On quiet nights, after the children were asleep, she and Adrian would sit in his office. Sometimes they talked strategy. Sometimes they just existed in comfortable silence. Do you miss it? He asked once. Your old life. Mia thought about it honestly. I miss the simplicity, but not the fear. Not the struggle. Regrets. She looked at him, this dangerous, complicated man who'd become her strange anchor. Just one. What's that? I wish I'd found that alley sooner, she smiled. Could have saved us all a lot of trouble. Adrian's laugh was rare and genuine. He pulled her close, and Mia leaned into him, feeling safe in a way she never had before. She'd saved a Mafia boss's son from kidnappers. What he did next shocked the entire city. He made her family. And in his world, family was everything.